Good morning. Happy Monday, July 10th. It is a very special Monday for us indeed here in studio. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot. We have Kevin Shields joining us. We always love having him here. And we'll be talking about the Avalanche Rescue Dog Whiskey, Youth Power 365 and the event they just had over the weekend. And our very own Danielle Turner, Vice President of Deerfield Media, will be joining me on the couch. So Good Morning Vail starts now.
Things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Thank you, Kim, so much for that opening. Yes, we've got a lot of things to go over today, but let's take a look at that local weather because some amazing things are happening out there. If you look in today, 58 degrees is going to be what the opening temperature is at 8 a.m. A high of 80 degrees today. Winds east-southeast from 5 to 15 miles an hour, so not a lot of wind out there to really bring anything in. So a lot of things going to happen in the weather. Look at this I-70 corridor, 93 degrees in Denver. They're starting to see a little bit of the 90s there. It's been a while since they got there. 80 degrees in Vail. Avon is 82, Eagle 85 degrees. So a lot of beautiful temperatures coming out. Great sleeping weather tonight. 47 degrees is going to be the low tonight. Very clear night. So if you're into some stargazing, get out there and check out some of those wonderful constellations. Looking at this 5-day, it does not get any better than this. Tuesday, mostly sunny, 80 degrees. Wednesday, sunny, 83. All those 80s still going on. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 84 to 82 degrees. But look at those low temperatures. Wonderful 50s all week long. I don't think you can write a better script than that, Kim.
It sounds like wonderful weather to me. I know. I am ready for the summertime temps finally.
And there's nothing better at night when it's nice and cool. Crack the windows and just relax. I sleep like a baby.
I really do too. And so I think when you said perfect sleeping weather, I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
So Kevin, I'm excited to be sitting here on the couch with you.
Well, it's been a while. I've been
you're a
busy
local legend.
running around. Well, I wouldn't want to go local legend. It's been a while since I've been on TV8. I love to be back. So thank you for the welcome.
Absolutely.
And yeah, a lot of things going on, work life, personal life, a lot of things happening at All Points North Lodge, which is here in Edwards, Colorado. A lot of substance abuse, behavioral health going on, a lot of treatment there, but a lot of things in the community that help those that might be struggling with some depression or some things. I mean, you think about the beautiful temperatures and the wonderful things to do outside, but still some people struggle from time to time.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely. Just because the weather is beautiful doesn't necessarily mean things are all copacetic at home or internally as well. So talk to me about what you do with All Points North.
So up at All Points North, I'm Chief Operating Officer, so in charge of that facility, and we're opening some more facilities around the world. London just opened up.
That's incredible.
We've got Fort Worth, actually Keller, Texas, getting ready to open up. Beautiful detox facility there to transition people back. And also, along with the residential services, we do provide IOP, so that intensive outpatient therapy program. So as people leave that residential program, it's a nice, smooth transition back. We've got telehealth support, and it's about not doing everything by yourself. There's always someone there to help out. So if anybody out there is having problems, there's a lot of resources here in the Valley to help you out. I know Speak Up, Reach Out is a great organization. So tons and tons of resources here in this valley.
And you're doing a lot of partnerships as well in the community.
Yes, we try to work with all the nonprofits to promote programs, to be there for them, because it's tough. It's tough to get out there. And I think with behavioral health, mental health being on the forefront now and not being that taboo thing that people don't want to talk about, it's a lot easier for people to speak up and then find the help they need. So the Speak Up, Reach Out is just a great opportunity for people to do that.
Absolutely. Well, we love having you double down here and joining me at TVA Vail again. We love having you. So we have a lot happening on today's show, so stay tuned. Lots of special guests. We love when we get to highlight and chat with our own. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Now, everybody loves a furry friend, and we especially love those avalanche rescue dogs that keep us safe and warm our hearts on the mountain every winter. Let's have a look at a conversation that Ben had about Henry, who is retiring soon to live a happy and healthy life.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. We are now joined on the couch by Ryan from 10th Mountain Whiskey and the founders of Avidog, a new whiskey product for us. Would you guys introduce yourselves for us?
My name is Chris Mongo Reeder, and I'm the director of Vail Ski Patrol and a co-founder of Avidog.
My name is Mike Kang. I'm also a co-founder of Avidog and a longtime friend of Chris's and Ryan's.
Great.
So tell us a little bit about the history behind the Avidog brand and kind of what you guys are doing with this new product.
Sure. On Ski Patrol, we're always kind of looking for new ways to fundraise and benefit our local community and ways to give back. And that's kind of the foundation of where Avidog came from. Pairing our Avidog program and the success with those dogs and the popularity of those dogs into efforts to be able to support that. It turns into T-shirt sales and hat sales and exposure through different media outlets and appearances and things like that. The actual Avidog brand of bourbon was originally thought up as a wine brand and a partnership with a vineyard, and they did a run of what was wine, and we were able to raise a bunch of money, so that kind of got the wheels turning. And we're not really wine guys, so at the time we decided that maybe along the lines of someday another opportunity might come around with something that we're a little bit more aligned with, like a bourbon.
Well, and how did 10th Mountain Whiskey get involved?
You know, through the process of trying to find a partner in the bourbon industry, we were overlooking the obvious, I would say, for a little while. And during COVID, it was a tough struggle to try to find suppliers of bourbon. It's in high demand, and especially during COVID, it was pretty hard to come by. And so I think that we were guilty of looking beyond what was now obvious. Once we started to look locally and we were put in touch with Ryan from a friend, it seemed like a perfect relationship, and it kind of grew from there.
Well, and 10th Mountain Whiskey's got quite a history of working with nonprofits throughout the valley, especially in the first responder and veteran space. Yeah. And so to mention it's a natural partnership for you guys.
Yeah, it's a natural partnership in a number of ways. Vail Mountain being founded by a 10th Mountain vet, Henry being the first Avi rescue dog on Vail Mountain, being a service dog himself. When Mongo and Kanger came to me and told me about the project they were thinking about doing and pursuing, it was an immediate yes. I was excited about it. It checked all the right boxes for us, and so not only is it a fun brand and a fun reason to start doing some business with these guys, but also their philanthropic efforts as well that they're focused on really resonates with us too. So.
And is there a particular program right now that the proceeds from this run of whiskey is going towards?
Do you want to name off a few?
Kanger, why don't you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right now we're benefiting Vail Avalanche Rescue Dogs, obviously, and then CRAD, which is Colorado Rapid Avalanche Deployment, and that's when they fly the dogs around into AVI zones in the helicopters. And then the national foundation that we've identified is Canines for Warriors, and that's when they rescue or rescue dogs from high-kill rescue shelters. I believe 80% of the dogs are from high-kill rescue shelters, and then they donate them to vets that are affected by PTSD, traumatic brain injuries. So they're essentially trying to save 2 lives. So.
Fantastic. So with these two particular bottles here, there's a little bit of a difference. And why don't you guys tell us something about the specific whiskeys in here?
For sure. Well, kind of the unique thing about these bottles of whiskey is this was the first bottle of whiskey, I believe, that was actually a barrel selection by a dog. Henry himself, he's not with us anymore, but last summer we went for a barrel selection process at 10th Mountain, and Henry was with us, and we narrowed the selection down to 2 barrels, and then we set the 2 barrels out and had a bowl of whiskey in front of each of them, and I kind of taught Henry what the game was going to be, and then we did a best 2 out of 3, and Henry actually selected the first barrel of whiskey to go into the Avi Dog bottle. And so that's kind of a unique story between the two. So there's 2 different versions. There's one that's straight out of the barrel, and that is the Barrel Select at 115 proof that's bottled at right now. And then there's also an 80 proof version of the same thing.
Well, fantastic. And so with the 80 proof version and the higher proof, you guys have one of them aged a little bit longer than the other one?
No.
Nope.
No, they're both aged 2 years in the barrel.
Fantastic. What gives this one the darker color here?
It's a, well, do you want to answer?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
The smile on your face.
The darker color, it's a great question, right? And then it's something that people notice straight off the bat. And so the darker color is 115 proof, and then we use a reverse osmosis water to proof down the same exact whiskey, but down to 80 proof, so it might be a little more approachable to some novice whiskey drinkers that still want to partake and be part of the brand and enjoy our whiskey, but maybe don't gravitate towards the higher proof 115. So that's the difference in the color and the darkness.
Plus, you can enjoy it for a little bit longer.
You can enjoy it a little bit longer as well, yeah.
So I've been down to your facility there in Gypsum, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You want to tell us a little bit about your process and how you guys are developing these whiskeys? And
well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. And so our distillery is in Gypsum. It's a 7,000 square foot facility. We have a tasting room there. It's open 6 days a week. We use a 500-gallon batch system. So all the whiskey that comes out of our location is a 500-gallon batch system. We have a 500-gallon combination pot column still. And we do everything by hand there, from the whole cooking, fermentation, distillation process to bottling and labeling. These guys have come down and helped us do some bottling and labeling on the Avi Dog brand. And so we're open to tours 6 days a week, and open to the public to come join us and hang out and check out our process. So.
Fantastic. And so let's go back to the Avi Dogs a little bit. I know that Vail Mountain has definitely really been kind of promoting their Avi Dog program a lot more in recent years. And with Henry being the original Avi Dog, tell us a little bit about Henry.
Well, Henry was our first. We already said that. That was how we developed the program, and I pitched it originally with Henry, and it was accepted, and so it was a fun process of figuring it out as we went. You know, there was a lot of background and legwork that I did beforehand, going to different dog seminars and things like that, and tapping into as many training resources as I could find, but then actually figuring out the program is kind of more of a boots on the ground, and figuring out what parts of the program cater best to whatever your operation is. And at Vail, a lot of our operation, it's unfortunate that Avi Dogs don't have a higher success rate when you're looking for something, when you're looking for someone that's in need of that kind of assistance. You know, it's a much more useful tool to be able to use our Avi Dogs on the front end educationally, and we use them a lot in that purpose. So the Avi Dogs create an approachability with patrol and a connection that, especially with our local schools and stuff, allows us to be able to get in front of these kids and have that audience and have a little bit better engagement with them. And to be honest, that is the most beneficial side of having our Avalanche Rescue Dog program, is the educational side. Anybody that is going into the backcountry to participate with a plan, with their plan being that we have Avalanche Rescue Dogs available up top if something happens, that's not a good plan going into the backcountry. just a simple side effect of the geography of where accidents happen and the reality that live finds in avalanche terrain happen within 15 minutes. And that window is your partner. It's not a phone call to a professional rescue agency that goes through a number of dispatchers and then a helicopter is sent to pick up the resource and flown out there. That's unfortunately not a successful plan most of the time.
And sometimes it can take 15 minutes just to get your ski boots on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of the foundation of our avalanche rescue dog program and kind of how it's transitioned over the years. And we're at 6 dogs now. We have 2 new pups, and there's another one on the way. And so it's an ongoing evolution.
Fantastic. And I mean, I'm sure you know better than I, but I would imagine that on Vail Mountain, burials aren't a terribly huge concern. I mean, I know people get tree welled occasionally, but inbound slides hardly ever happen in terrain where people are. So I would imagine you guys get a lot more work with the dogs, partnering with CRAD.
Absolutely. And that brings up a common misconception too, is that that there is some sort of ski patrol presence in the backcountry. When you're skiing at a resort, for Vail, at Vail, for example, we have 120 ski patrollers that are all working full-time to mitigate those avalanche risks within the ski area boundary. As soon as you go under that road, through one of those backcountry access gates and leave the ski area, then you get none of that, and you're completely reliant on having done your homework and understanding what the snowpack looks like, and training with the gear in case things go wrong, and having that right partner with you too.
Because once you guys get out of the gates of the resort, right, you're now in the territory for the Sheriff's Department and Mountain Rescue, and those guys have to stage and come out to get you, and that just takes longer.
Exactly, and that is part of the partnership that we have with the Summit County and Eagle County Search and Rescue groups, that we're available as a resource for them, but you're right, that takes time.
So, if people are interested in picking up some Abbey Dog whiskey and helping to support you guys, do you guys have any events coming up, or where can they purchase it?
They're for sale at both of our tasting rooms, at our distillery in Gypsum, and then at our tasting room on Bridge Street. Right when you cross the covered bridge, the first shop on the right. So they're available there retail-wise. So.
And just quick aside, easily the prettiest bar in the valley.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I love that,
nice.
like wood coloring and everything. It's
Thank you.
fantastic.
And the location overlooking Gore Creek right there, it's absolutely terrific. Yeah.
And you'll often catch some ski patrol hanging out there enjoying a glass after they get done with the workday. So
Occasionally.
Well, fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all of this fantastic information about the Abbey Dog program and the new whiskey fundraiser. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hey, appreciate it.
And thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right back after a short break.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Yesterday, TV8 had the opportunity to participate in Youth Power 365's Family Engagement Day. Let's take a look back at that interview and see what that program is all about.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Something that we love here is the nonprofits in our community, only because they do so much to bring not only us entertainment, but our youth some great activities throughout the summer, and the Youth Power 365 does just that. And I've got Ricky joining me. Ricky, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm really excited, a little nervous.
No, wait, you don't have to be nervous at all. I should be nervous talking to you, only because you do some incredible stuff throughout our community. And the Vail Valley Foundation, which is where Youth Power 365 comes from, is one of those organizations that just like capitalizes on every opportunity to be involved in the community.
Correct, yeah. And one of the ways that we do that is through our, I'm really excited to talk about our program. It's celebrating 15 years of our COPA program, our soccer program throughout the Valley. It's a program of 7 weeks. It just really engages kids. It creates self-discipline, better confidence in our kids, builds a community. It's just an incredible program that we have. So yeah, 15 years. I brought a soccer ball too to be like, oh, look at this, we're celebrating it. It's really happening.
Which is always exciting because it's one of those things that kids get to look forward to.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
some kids have a hard time when school ends because it gives them something to do all day and they get to see their friends. And now this is another opportunity for them to get out there and enjoy.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you hit the jackpot there with that word. It's funny because we give them a jersey. We give them a full kit. So we give them jersey, shorts, and socks. We did a parent night right before school ended, and they get their uniforms. And the next day, kids are wearing their uniforms, and they're saying, "What team are you on? Are we on the same team?" And they're, but at the same time, it's when they wear these jerseys, it's a place for them to belong, right? They know that there's a space for them, that there's something to look forward to for the summer. And you know, I always tell the kids, like, you're a professional soccer player. Like, you've got all these brands on all these logos, and you know, and you get to play soccer. So, yeah, it's just exciting to see all these kids out there.
And it's really cool to see our community rally, and especially the local businesses, because there's a lot of support within the community to make things like this happen. So now, if kids maybe didn't get to sign up, is that still a possibility for them?
You know, no. Unfortunately, this year we actually broke record. It's an all-time high. We have 920 participants.
Whoa.
Yeah, 920. Yeah, it's just a great way. I was talking to Ramon and Porfirio Reyes, who initiated this 15 years ago, and they said when we first started, we used to practice at Edwards Elementary. We used to have 6 teams. You know, they didn't have any uniforms. They didn't even have soccer balls. And now, again, I think as well, thanks, Maddie, you mentioned it, thanks to the sponsors, to our community, you know, we collaborate with Mountain Rec, Vail Rec District, Town of Gypsum, and we bring our community everywhere. And it's just really cool because it engages, again, families. It's really incredible. It's a big party. On July 9th, if you'd like to go, I invite everyone to come out and check out. We have a family engagement day, and we do like a parent soccer game. We give out gifts. We bring in some of our nonprofits as well to showcase and be there with our families and check out the environment. You know, last year we did a count, and we had around 1,800 people on the field. Like, that's parents. Wow. Like, I like to make a joke out of it, but it's like grandma, grandpa, the neighbor, the best friend, the dog. Yeah. So it's just a party, and you know, it's really cool because other community members, like parents, will be like, "Hey, can I make burgers? Can I make a carne asada? Can I do this?" Bouncy. We had a bouncy castles. They were also amazing. They're like, "Hey, can I be part of it?" I'm like, "Yes, this is a great party. Like, we get to celebrate youth with this, and again, it's just empowering to them." So.
Now, something we were talking about off camera is we're both products of our community.
That's right, yeah.
So we both grew up here, we both went to school here,
yeah.
And to see just the growth trajectory that we have to show support for our youth in the community is fantastic. Between all of those great nonprofits that you have mentioned that we're going to see at this wonderful large party, but then you guys yourself, because not only do you provide opportunities for youth, but you also provide opportunities for adults to volunteer.
That is correct. So we engaged this year. We were so excited. We won a Steph Curry sponsored a training. It was called Double Coach Coaching for Winning and Life Lessons.
Wow!
And it was really cool because it was we brought over. So again, we had 925 kids. It involved more volunteers. We had over 70 volunteer coaches coming out to be part of this. So our volunteer coaches dedicate. For the 7 weeks, they dedicate about 40 hours of the 7-week season, like, to our programs. And what a best way that, you know, the basketball player Steph Curry, wish it could have been a Nuggets player, but it's okay, right?
Right.
But it's so cool.
I bet he wishes he could have been a Nuggets
right?
player.
Yeah, but it's just so cool because these coaches, like, felt so empowered to our mission and to go out there and you know, create new future leaders. Just like you mentioned, we have a lot of kids in our community that are coming back that are at CSU, they're at Larimer College. They're coming back, and they're also part of our family. Like, they're like, "Hey, Ricky, do you need me to ref? What do you need me to do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, come back. We love you." And that brings that legacy, that trajectory to our organization and to our community, right? Just like you mentioned, like, we grew up here, and what a best way to come back and give to our community that at one point it gave to us, right? So.
which I think is so empowering, and it just shows, like, when people think Vail or Beaver Creek or anywhere in our surrounding areas throughout the community, they think this world-class travel destination. Little do they know what they're coming to visit is just this incredible tight-knit community that shows its support for the youth, for the arts, for the entertainment, for everything, and that's what brings all of these different elements that people know and love here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just to say a couple of things. So our program only costs $35
Wow.
for our kids, and they get 7 weeks of, so that we play every game on Sunday. They get twice practices. Again, they get the uniform, and they get to be exposed with, you know, trusted adults, other nonprofit organizations, and community leaders. You know, recently we just had 2 high school girls that went to the state game in Colorado, Pueblo, sorry. And it's just cool because we're like this could be you, right? So a little future leader.
Which is like giving them the inspiration and really those
Exactly,
role
yeah.
models to look up to that are here in our community that they can like bump into in the grocery
Yeah.
store, which is so cool and one of the other best parts about our community. Now, how long have you been with Youth Power 365?
So it's a funny story. I really appreciate my teacher, Jeff Hayslip, who was a teacher at St. Clair of Assisi. So it was March, like in middle of March, he gives me a call and he's like, "Hey, Ricky, we want you to, they just called me. They're looking for someone to run the COPA program." And I was like, "Oh, really? I wasn't looking for a job." And he's like, "But you're really part of our community." So I started, my first day was March 31st of COVID 2020. So it was like, I get a call from my boss there and she's like, "You're starting to work from home." And I'm like, "Oh, what does that look like?"
Oh my gosh, Ricky, well,
So it
thank you
was
so
nerve-wracking.
much for coming in, sharing the story. We're out of time, unfortunately.
no,
I
it's
could
okay.
keep talking to you
Yeah.
about all of the wonderful things that you do in our community, but thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Make sure that you check out Youth Power 365 and all of the wonderful opportunities that they have for volunteering and so much more. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Let's take a look at that local weather. This morning getting up 58 degrees, a high today of 80 degrees. Perfect weather out there, light winds 5 to 15 miles an hour, east-southeast direction. So not a lot out there with those high winds. Looking 58 degrees this morning. Gonna just barely get into those 80s, probably right after that 2 o'clock hours when it heats up the most, but look at that, mostly sunny all day long. So if you want to get out there, get out on Nottingham Lake. A lot going on there. Nothing better on a Monday to get on a paddleboard and just kind of cruise around. Looking at that I-70 corridor, Denver's going to warm up today. They're going to finally hit those 90-degree marks, 80 degrees in Vail, 82 in Avon, and Eagle is going to see 85 degrees. So some beautiful weather coming up. 47 degrees. We talked earlier in the show about that sleeping weather. Perfect time to crack those windows, get some good night rest with that low of 47 degrees. The sun sets at 8:36. So those days still looking nice and long. 5-day, not a lot of change going on. I think perfection is the word of today with this local weather. Tuesday, 80 degrees, Wednesday, 83 degrees, sunny all week long, 84 on Thursday and Friday. And then that Saturday, we've got 82 degrees and full sun. So get that weekend planned, get out there. We talked about paddleboards, get out there with the dogs, the kids, have a nice picnic in the park. Speaking of great things to do, the Ford Amphitheater has things going on all season long. Let's take a look at our Vail Vibes section and see what's going on over at the Amp.
Hi friends, welcome to Gerald R. Ford Amphitheater, also known as the Amp, a place that is home to some amazing musical acts all summer long. And what better place to watch live music than this outdoor venue? It wouldn't be summer in Vail without the Amp, an open-air venue surrounded by the Rocky Mountains. It manages to be both majestic and intimate. From humble beginnings to being the center of Vail arts and culture, the Amp has had a rich history, including several remodels since it opened in 1987. In fact, according to the AMP's Facebook page, in the early 80s, many locals had a hard time understanding why a ski town needed a summertime venue. And with endless construction, many people even wondered if it would ever be completed. But thanks to the perseverance of the Vail Valley Foundation and the Ford family, the venue was finally built in 1987 and held its first major performance headlined by Willie Nelson. The AMP continued to draw in big acts and loyal fans. One of those fans was Morgan Russell. He frequented the free Hot Summer Nights concerts that have been going on since the late 80s. And when he realized he can turn his love of live music into a career, well, it was a dream come true for him.
I've been working here for 3 years, and it's my absolute favorite place in the world. I've never loved a job like I love this one.
Being exposed to such a wide variety of entertainment, he says his taste in music has expanded over the years.
But I love learning about stuff that I'm not familiar with. We had Maren Morris, who's this big pop country singer, and the crowd was fantastic, amazing. We had Lindsey Sterling, who does this electric violin performance that's choreographed, and it's got this big dance component.
It's a fixed capacity venue with an ability to squeeze in around 3,000 people in total, including the lawn and pavilion combined. But if a show sells out, which it often does, there's an attractive alternative.
One of the wonderful things about this place is it's adjacent to a public park. So when it sells out, people just go to the park or the lovely gardens next door or the creek next door. There's a lot of places to enjoy the music if you're not in the venue.
And speaking of the gardens next door, they were named the Betty Ford Alpine Gardens in 1988. Betty was, of course, the wife of former President Gerald R. Ford, the AMP's namesake. And the garden is known as the highest botanical garden in the world. With the garden, the creek, the park, the mountains, you have a natural environment that's hard to compete with.
For me, that's what makes it so special, and I would much rather enjoy that music in an outdoor setting like this than in a concert hall.
And many of the acts feel similarly.
They're blown away, and consistently people come to the venue for the first time and their jaws literally drop. They look around and say, how have we never been here before? Can we come back?
There's so much to look forward to at the AMP all summer long, including Bravo Vail, the free Hot Summer Nights concerts, Vail Dance Festival, and several national touring acts.
Thievery Corporation on July 15th that we're really excited about, followed by Old Crow Medicine Show the next day, and then Camp on the 17th. So, 3 big shows back to back to back.
Remember to bring a picnic, a rain poncho just in case, and for transportation, well, here's a suggestion.
Ride your bike. That's the best way to get here from pretty much anywhere in Vail. To ride your bike along the creek to arrive here, it just connects the whole thing. You ride past the Alpine Gardens and you get to enjoy the flowers and the nature.
A bike ride, a picnic, some live music. Sounds like a plan. Be sure to check out grfavail.com for more upcoming events. For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Now, I am so thrilled to be sitting on this couch with 2 very influential people at TV8. I've got Kevin joining me, which we love having him here in studio, and then our Vice President and General Manager of Deerfield Media, Danielle Turner. Danielle?
Good morning.
Great to have you.
Good morning.
I'm so excited to be with you guys this morning.
Well, I'm so excited to be back. It's been a while.
Can I mention that? I'm so thrilled that you're here.
There's some great enhancements that have taken place here. I know right before I left, you extended Good Morning Vail to 2 hours.
Right.
Which a lot of the viewers wanted that. If somebody didn't want to get up so early in the morning, they can catch Good Morning Vail, that second half.
Yes.
But that was one of the enhancements, and there's several other things going on as well.
So many good things. Where should we start? Let's talk about Good Morning Vail a little bit.
Okay.
All kinds of new segments happening. We just saw Vail Vibes with the lovely Avisha Scarborough. She is taking us all over the entertainment sector here in the Vail Valley for Good Morning Vail. And then she's going to be launching that as a half-hour, once-a-week show here in the next couple weeks. So Vail Vibes will be its own little show as well.
That's great. A lot of people don't know a lot about the specific venues, a little bit of the history, a little bit of what the acts that came in there to establish it, and she did a great job talking about the AMP and interviewing there.
Yes, absolutely. So we're excited to do that, maybe talk to some of the touring bands. and kind of expand that a little bit. So that'll be fun. What other new segments do we have? Kim, Outdoor Adventures with Ben Roof.
Right.
Ben just kind of started doing that recently. We just saw the very first episode last week. And so he's going to out and about doing some camping and hiking and all those good things that we all love.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a couple of new things that we're working on. If you're an avid TV8 watcher, you've probably seen the promo for Our Neighbors, which is a segment where we want to introduce local everyday people in the Vail Valley, the people who are our neighbors.
Nice.
The bartender at one of the local bars,
Right.
or the person that bags my groceries at the grocery store. We want to get to know these people. And so we're going to start to produce some little segments. So if anybody wants to nominate themselves or somebody else, they can reach out to me via email, and we're going to start to produce those in August.
You know, the fun thing about that is you talk about someone bagging your groceries at the grocery store or working somewhere around town. You just never know the backstory. There's such great backstories for everybody that lives in this valley. And it's always interesting to hear that.
Absolutely. We want to get to know those stories. So I think that's going to be a really fun one. And then we're also launching a new hobby segment. There's so many, people that do art or woodworking or, with metal and whatever. And we want the opportunity to kind of teach the Vail Valley about some of these great hobbies. So if somebody's got, a great cooking skill they want to share, or they want to woodwork, and we'll even come out to you if it's something that, like you want to blow glass and show us how to do that. Like, we'll come to your workshop and do that.
That is great. Now, another, I don't know if I would call it's an enhancement and an addition is Kim.
Absolutely.
I mean, right out loud. We talk about sitting on the couch with two amazing. You need to lump yourself in. We're the three amazing amigos.
That's right.
It's
Right
true,
here.
That's right.
I love it. It's always a pleasure working with Danielle, and we had previously worked together in Park City, and so it was just really exciting for me to jump on board and to join TV8 Vail. And it's just, she's a great leader, really encouraging, has some really interesting things that we talk about here on the show, and I'm loving it.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, lots of fun, lots of things happening here at the studio, here in the community. Every time we have a season change, everything kind of evolves.
Yes.
And the enhancements that have evolved here at TV8 make it a little more robust.
Absolutely. And that's just Good Morning Vail. I mean, we haven't even talked about some of the other wonderful things. So, sports. Let's talk about sports.
Okay.
So the scoreboard took a little bit of a hiatus with the summer season because the kids are off on vacation, but hard to believe they will begin practicing anytime now.
Wow.
And so with that, we have hired a new sports reporter, Robbie Whittle. Is joining the team from Montana. He just recently moved to the Vail Valley.
Nice.
And so you may actually see him here on the show later this week to kind of get a sneak peek interview with him and what he hopes to accomplish in his role here. But we're excited to welcome him on board as well. And then, of course, we've talked a lot recently about our Spanish programming initiatives. And just yesterday, Julio Garcia, our Spanish multimedia journalist, and I were out at that Youth Power 365 event, their family engagement day, and it was so much fun to share the message about what we're doing and be there with all the kids as they were playing soccer, and they were loving it. So that was really, really a good time. And later this week on Wednesday night, we're having our event here at the station where we've invited community members to come in and talk to us about what they want to see as part of that Spanish programming block.
Nice.
It's my goal to not tell the community what they want for programming. I want them to tell me. And so we've invited people. There's still a little bit of time to RSVP. We're going to shut that down later today. So if you haven't RSVP'd, please do so, because we are supplying a few snacks and things. We want to make sure that we've got enough for everyone, but we've already got a good group of people scheduled to come in, and we're excited to hear what everybody has to say about it.
Well, Danielle, that actually is one of the most positive things I think that's come out of TV8 here since Deerfield Media has been involved, is the out there looking and listening to the community and giving them back what they want, what they deserve, and again, enhance the programming for all of the neighbors that watch TV8.
Yeah, I think so. That's, been my goal from day one, I can sit in the office and decide all day what we watch, but what fun is that?
Right.
I really want to hear what the community wants. And I think we're doing that on Good Morning Vail, and I hope that we can do that with the Spanish Initiative as well.
Great. So if anybody's out there and you want to participate, it would be great to get you in RSVP today so that we know that you're coming and have enough snacks for everybody, but we want to hear what you want to see.
Yeah.
I think that's been one of my favorite things since joining TVA Vail is just how collaborative you are with the community. And, we have locals that come on the show frequently and, they're just as comfortable up here talking about their business and what they're doing and contributing to the community. And it's just very interesting.
Yeah, I think, or at least I hope what we create is a nice family environment where, yes, there's 3 cameras looking at you, but come in and talk like you're talking to one of your good friends.
Yeah. And that's what we always tell people when they come in. It's just a conversation. Let's talk.
Absolutely.
Right?
And even the most nervous people, I think, at the end of it have such a good time.
Right.
Because that is really all it is. You guys are so welcoming with everybody. And I think that's part of the magic.
Well, and that's part of the fun. Getting people in here. We can do a one-on-one interview. We've had 15, 20 people in the studio
Yes, we have.
talking about music productions that are taking place at the local high school and junior high and semi-professional that comes through the valley. That's all the fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. And recently we started a music segment on the Saturday edition of Good Morning Vail with Jammin' with Jake. And every week he's been bringing in a little kid. And this past Saturday, little Anna did the ukulele while she was hula hooping.
Oh my God.
Incredible. And
That's so impressive.
It's really fun to, especially to bring in the youth of the community,
Right.
our neighbors of tomorrow, right? To see what they're all about.
Nice. You just never know those backstories. When you run into somebody, they could play the ukulele and hula hoop at the same time.
time.
You just don't know.
It just makes you wonder, how did you discover you had that hidden talent?
I know.
What were you doing that day?
So that's a good one to put on the question list. Find out. For sure.
It is. Right. Now, in regard to musical talent, the Jamming with Jake. So tell us a little bit more about that so we can make sure our Monday through Friday viewers tune in for something exciting.
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
weekend.
So Jake Wolf is a musician here locally. He does the Summer School of Rock, where he teaches the kids how to play a variety of instruments. And so over the past couple of weeks, he's brought in a kid and an instrument, and he teaches the child and Liz, the weekend host, how to play.
Wow.
And as you know, Liz is a character all her own. And so it's a lot of fun. Now, actually, this past Saturday, Liz was not in, so it was Ben that helped to, he played the ukulele. He did not hula hoop, but he played the ukulele. A couple weeks ago, it was my son. He's not a hula hooper, so all he did was play the ukulele. But
He mastered
it's
it.
been a
He
lot
did
of
very
fun.
well. He really did. That's wonderful.
So
Now-
we're doing that all summer long.
Nice.
Different instruments. I think Jake is determined to bring a drum set in.
Oh, that's
So stay tuned for that.
That's that instrument parents just, can you practice on pillows?
Right.
Maybe the electric drum set. Unplug it so you can't hear it.
And speaking of music, in the next hour, Vail Jazz will
Vail
be here.
Jazz,
And
yeah,
we're going to
we're
hear a
gonna
little
talk-
saxophone.
29 years they've been in the Valley, which is amazing. I mean, you see some of these series that take place in that jazz series, 29 years.
Incredible.
And when I'm so looking forward to the saxophone because I played saxophone in high school.
Oh, you did.
I haven't picked it up in a while, but it'll be nice. It's such a great instrument, such a beautiful sound.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It really is. I grew up on jazz, and especially Kenny G, so I love that they'll
Yeah.
be in studio to demonstrate and to chat a little bit more about it with you.
Nice. Can't wait.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, Danielle, we love having you when you join us here on
It's
the
my
couch.
pleasure.
You are a woman of many talents behind the scenes
Yes.
as well as here in front. It's always great to hear from you and the guidance and the direction you're taking TVA.
Well,
So,
thank you. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to be here with both of you.
absolutely. Well, thank you, Danielle, and thank you, Kevin, for always joining
Well,
me
thank
here
you,
on the
Kim.
couch. Now, we have a lot more in the second hour of our show, so stay tuned. Go refill that coffee cup. We'll be right back after this break.
Good morning, Vail.
Good conversation.
what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Thank you, Kim, for that introduction. A lot of things going on this week in the Vail Valley, but let's take a look at the local weather so you can plan ahead on those events that you want to take part in. Getting up this morning, 58 degrees at 8 a.m. Great temperature. High today of 80 degrees. Really light winds, 5 to 15 miles an hour, east-southeast, so not a lot of wind coming in out there. 8 a.m. 58 degrees. We're going to see those warmer temperatures probably between that 2 and 4 o'clock hour. So that'll start to heat up. But again, perfect temperatures out there. If you want to head to the park, if you want to go for a bike ride, get out there on Lake Nottingham and paddleboard around. A lot of great things. Denver seeing 93 degrees today. Haven't seen a lot of 90s up there in Denver, but they're going to hit that mark today. Vail 80 degrees. Mostly sunny. Avon 82, mostly sunny. And Eagle 85 degrees and mostly sunny, so some beautiful weather out there tonight. That's sleeping weather, 47 degrees. Clear night tonight if you want to get out and stargaze a little bit in the sunsets at 8:36 p.m. So again, a lot of day to happen. So with that beautiful weather, get out there and enjoy what you're doing. Maybe you need some yard work, things getting done. That 5-day forecast, not a lot of changes there. It is perfection. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 80 degrees. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to see those mid-80s, lows 52, 53, 51. So a lot of great temperature out there. And then Saturday to kick off that weekend, 82 degrees and sunny. So like I said, a lot of things to do outside. There's a lot of activities, whether you're sporting or you want to get out there for a nice concert series. When we come back, we're going to talk Vail Jazz Festival with Drew Zaremba, 29th year that they're here in the Valley. So a lot of things happening there. So when we come back, a little saxophone playing and a little discussion on some jazz. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. As I promised, I'm here on the couch with Drew Zaremba.
That's it.
That's a great name.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Polish.
Is it Polish?
Yes.
Zaremba.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should have played the marimba, but oh well.
You know what? That would have been cool.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
No.
It's not too late.
It's a good time.
You play saxophone.
Yes.
That's a difficult instrument.
It's easy to learn, difficult to master. Any instrument takes its time and in the practice room.
Right.
So.
I was telling the crew earlier, I played saxophone in high school, and I started out with alto.
Yeah.
And then I went to baritone.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. That's a big horn.
Big boy.
Yeah. And then I just, a few years ago, bought tenor sax.
Right on.
And so I want to try to get back into it. Still a little rusty, but it's fun to get it out and play. It's a little stress reliever.
Yeah, you got to. It's so much like the human voice. So it's like you're singing through the instrument.
Right. Well, let's talk jazz. How did you get into jazz playing?
I grew up in Southern California. I was a classical pianist at age 5, but then my mom, whenever we were in the car, 94.7, The Wave, smooth jazz. I heard David Sanborn. I heard George Duke. I heard all the greats. I was like, wow, there's a lot of saxophone. I love the saxophone.
Yeah.
And I had to pick it up. And, you know, oh my gosh, 22 years later, here I am still playing for a living and teaching some too. So.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're from Greeley?
I live in Greeley.
Okay.
I've been there for 5 years. I teach at the University of Northern Colorado.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. And do you just teach saxophone? Do you teach music?
I actually teach composition.
Okay.
So I'm a jazz composer primarily. I love playing my sax and I love playing piano still, but all I teach is composition, and that's a joy because it's a great time seeing the students blossom with their own voice and helping them, equip them with tools to then express themselves and write new music for this generation.
What an artistic outlet. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you for your contribution to that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, Vail Jazz Festival, how long have you been involved?
So this will be my third year performing in the Vail Jazz Festival, but this is my first year on as regional artistic director.
Okay.
And it's just an incredible organization. This is the 29th year, and there's so much going on, and it's one of the best jazz festivals in the world, hands down. And so it's great to be here in this beautiful setting, playing music for the wonderful people here. It's so much going on. It's a great time.
Now, as regional artistic director, what does that encompass?
So I, with my mentor, John Clayton, who's the interim artistic director, he booked the Thursday night series.
Okay.
And then I booked the local bands that come up from Denver, or actually one of them's from Utah.
Nice.
But that's the Solaris series on Sundays.
Okay.
And then I'm also leading the trio, which will Howard's Hangout, which is the Thursday night series after the headliners. It's a free concert, kind of a club atmosphere from 8 to 10 every Thursday night, and I'm part of that. So
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Now, you talked about the Solaris, the Sunday nights. That started last night, first one.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. And it goes through Labor Day.
It goes through Labor Day, exactly. Yeah, and Labor Day is the big culminating event, the Vail Jazz Party, from Thursday through Monday of Labor Day, and it's a big blowout extravaganza of literally some of the best jazz artists in the entire world, bar none. And I'm not just saying that because they're my friends, but they're literally just some of the best musicians you'll ever hear, and it's an incredible experience.
Well, that's one of the amazing things about being here in the Valley. They call it a world-class ski area, but you get world-class arts and entertainment. The world-class jazz goes and just adds along to all of that great entertainment and arts that happens here in the Valley.
Yeah, so much to experience, and it's outside. You know, the Thursday, the Solaris is outside. It's a beautiful atmosphere. The Thursday night is in a tent outside in Lions Head Plaza, and then it's just a wonderful time all around.
And we didn't even mention 29 years. It's on its 29th year.
That's right.
Absolutely incredible that it's been around that long. Time flies. But when you consider how old Vail is,
yes,
and then 29 years, it has encompassed a lot of time since Vail has even been established as a ski area.
Right. We have to give credit where credit's due, and that's to the late, great Howard Stone, who was the founder and artistic director for forever, until he recently passed away last year, and it's a big loss for Vail Jazz. But we're continuing on in the way that he would have wanted.
Right.
A commitment to great music, great jazz, straight ahead music, also exploring all of its wonderful tributaries, and doing it up the way that he always did.
Yeah, making his legacy survive and
Always.
endure whatever obstacles come our way.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I was looking at the headliner series. Again, we talked about Under the Tent over at Lions Head, 6 p.m. on Thursdays.
That's right.
And then, for some reason, general admission tickets have been reduced this year to $35.
We want to get the word out that this is, you're getting an incredible value. You're getting like a New York City, LA, top $100 level concert for $35. We want people to come out and know, this is happening right here.
Right.
You've got to come out and check it out. There'll be an experience like this nowhere else.
Yeah.
So.
And the premium seats for this are only $75.
That's right.
Which is absolutely incredible. When you talk about the artists that are coming through, you just can't see them anywhere, especially in a picturesque setting like the Vail Valley.
That's
for
right.
$75 for a premium seat at some of this amazing entertainment.
Yeah, it's an incredible lineup that John was able to put together, and it's a big variety of folks. You got the String Queens, a beautiful trio of string musicians. You've got Sullivan Fortner, one of the best jazz pianists of his generation. Grace Kelly, an incredible saxophonist, and then we'll be following it up every night with Howard's Hangout at 8 o'clock. So you can't come and stay and hang. That's the jazz that we'll have this formal show, and then we'll keep it going kind of at this after party, chill, have a drink, have a conversation, keep listening.
I love that, because the show may be over, but that's just when the party starts.
Exactly, that's right.
So just get out there with your friends, your neighbors, probably get to rub elbows with some of these amazing musicians.
Oh yeah, everyone performing is great people, friendly folks who are happy to talk and hang out.
Nice. Now, if you want a weekend pass, I saw $495 for a full weekend pass?
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, I think that's for. I'm not exactly sure on the details there, but it's a great package. I think that's for most of the weekends there. So it's perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to take part of this series. If any of our viewers, you want to get out and experience some amazing arts and entertainment, the Vail Jazz Series Festival is the way to go. A lot of amazing performers. You're putting together a lot of local people coming in. I mean, it's amazing. Again, in this local community in Colorado, how many amazing musicians come from Colorado?
Yeah, there's a great scene here in Colorado, as we call it. I got to plug in particular Hot House West, which is a Western swing and kind of gypsy jazz band.
Right.
And there's going to be dance lessons beforehand. So swing dancing, and so people will be hopefully dancing throughout the whole performance because it's just going to be a swinging time.
That sounds like a blast.
Get your groove on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Drew, we promised some saxophone to the viewers. If you would please allow us to hear some of your amazing saxophone playing, we would greatly appreciate it.
It would be my pleasure.
Drew Zaremba, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Vail Jazz Festival, get out there, get your tickets. A lot of entertainment. The weather you saw is going to be absolutely perfect, so get out there and enjoy it along with some beautiful music. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.
We'll be back soon with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail, and it is National Pina Colada Day.
It is. I wore a fun shirt in
I
honor
love
of the
it.
holiday.
It's perfect. And what would go better with some jazz at the Jazz Festival than a nice pina colada?
Especially as we are heading into the middle of July, you know, you're always wanting that refreshing vacation escape, and what a better way to do that than to have a pina colada.
And escape, you know, do you like pina coladas?
I do.
Do you like getting caught in the rain?
I do like getting caught in the rain.
So escape and those two phrases are part of a song.
They are. Rupert Holmes.
Rupert Holmes, one-hit wonder.
One-hit wonder. Many other people have made it an even more popular song. I think Jack Johnson has done a version of it. Jimmy Buffett. Obviously, we love Jimmy Buffett.
Yes.
So many others. Well, I think we should try to attempt to make one.
Let's do it.
You know,
it's
never
a
too early.
version.
It is a Monday morning.
Because it is a Monday morning. So we don't want to get into the hot sauce quite yet.
Not yet. You know, maybe if it was 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not.
But like Jimmy Buffett says, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is, absolutely. So what's really fun about a pina colada, one, it's the national drink of Puerto Rico. So there's also, rumor has it, 3 different people invented the drink. So nobody knows exactly which bartender in Puerto Rico has come up with it, but as regardless, it's still delicious.
We'll give them all credit.
Absolutely. So we have a recipe here in studio, but a fun fact, if you were trying to make a pina colada and you didn't know exact measurements, just always do equal parts ingredients minus the ice. You always want double the ice.
All right. What are the ingredients?
So the ingredients we've got here, we're going to put this right here in front of us, but it's cream of coconut or coconut milk, pineapple, and that's kind of what gives it that fun, fruity, tropical flavor.
Got it.
Reminds you of summer, especially with the coconut.
Right.
And then basically you can kind of just garnish it with whatever you want. You know, a lot of people do cherries.
Maraschino cherry, a little slice.
Little slice of pineapple. Absolutely, you can serve it in a pineapple. We're not going to do that here today, but let's go ahead and get started. So you've got all of the ingredients next to you, and I've got a couple over here. So what we'll start with the pineapple chunks. Since it is virgin, we're
Okay.
adding a little bit extra flavor by using some frozen pineapple. We can also use fresh, but we'll start with that.
Now, do we need as much ice, do you think, if we use frozen pineapple chunks?
So probably not.
Yeah.
I would say maybe, depending on how many or how much pineapple chunk you use, maybe.
Yeah. I don't want it
just
to be
kind of
watered down too much.
Cut down the ice a
I
little
want
bit.
to taste my pineapple.
And if you were making it the traditional way, you would throw in some rum later too.
A little
But
bit of rum, okay.
Today we're making it virgin. It's
Got
going to be
it.
delicious.
Okay.
So basically we do about 3/4 of a cup of pineapple. So, your blender may have some measurements on it. Ours has it in ounces. So we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit in here.
There we go.
There we
Look
go.
at that.
Thank you.
Can't have too much pineapple.
You can't. We're just going to do that. And then
Yeah.
we're probably going to put about the equal amounts in pineapple juice.
Pineapple juice,
Just
got it.
to give it a little bit of help it, blend nice
Yeah,
and smooth.
blend it up. Look at that,
Perfect.
there we go.
All right, and then we did about 1 can there. So
Yep.
then we're going to basically go in with the coconut milk.
Okay.
And pour a little bit more in there as well. So you just want to make sure you're covering up probably just to about the top of the pineapple. I think that looks pretty good to me.
Okay.
Then add our ice.
Okay.
A frozen drink can't be frozen
Have a
unless you've
little
got
ice,
ice in it.
yeah.
So we're just going to put about, I think this is about a cup of ice if we can get it in here.
Yeah.
I'll let you kind of handle that. There we go, bartender pro over
There we
here.
go.
Perfect. And then I think we'll add maybe just a little bit more of the coconut milk just
Okay.
to give it that juice.
Give it a little juice.
Absolutely.
That creaminess. It's
That-
got a little creaminess to it.
We've got all of the delicious creaminess. We're gonna snap the lid on. And we're gonna put it on here. It's gonna be a little bit loud, so
Yeah.
warning you, turning the power on
got it.
our Ninja blender. And
There's a plug for Ninja Blender.
not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
And then you just kind of like pay attention and see if it looks like it needs anything else.
So you kind of pulse it to get it to come up, and then it'll all settle, and then you hit it again.
And then just depending on how thick you want it.
Nice.
Let's just take a quick look in here and see how thick it is. We might add a little bit more pineapple juice. What do you think? Just a little bit
Maybe
more?
a little more pineapple juice.
Let's add a little more pineapple
Boy, it
juice.
smells amazing.
It really does. It smells like vacation and suntan lotion.
I was just in Jamaica a little bit more, a couple weeks ago
That's great
with
too.
my family, and we had so much fun. And they've got a Bob Marley pina colada where they put like blue curacao in it, and they start out with pina colada and then go daiquiri and then the blue curacao inside there to give the blue layered. Really cool. Oh yeah. And it is. Pina colada is a perfect drink for a nice outdoor event. Yeah.
It's a great cocktail to make on this perfect weather that you've
That's
been talking
right.
about all
I
morning.
just can't stop talking about it. 80s all week long.
All week long.
And mostly sunny.
If you can't get away to the beach. We love mountain town
We
summers,
do.
but we'll just pour a little bit in here and we'll just try it out and see. That's a perfect consistency. Probably would be even better with a little rum, but
Hey, whatever.
whatever. So just do a little bit of that. You can top it with all kinds of things. Pineapple, cherries. If you were feeling fancy, we could probably top it with some whipped cream. Whatever floats your boat.
Oh, a little whipped cream. Never thought of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we've got our cherry.
Looks beautiful.
We've got a little bit of a garnish here with our pineapple.
Looks great.
Pardon my hands.
Hey.
I did wash them.
We're all family here. We've got sinks in the back. We're good to go.
There we go. Look at that.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to try it and
All
see
right.
how it tastes.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Monday.
Happy
Happy
Monday.
National Pina Colada Day.
Yes.
Delicious. Let's go to the beach.
It is delicious.
Are you ready?
I'm ready to put on the flip-flops.
I'm
5
ready to
o'clock
put
somewhere.
those on too. I love always cooking in the kitchen, and it's so fun to do it with you, Kevin. And
Well, it's a great time. I mean, especially when you come up with a nice concoction cocktail like this on National Pina Colada Day.
absolutely. Well, I'm going to take my pina colada and go chill under our hot lights here and
Yeah.
relax on the couch.
I'm going to order up some sand, and we can just put sand inside the studio.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Month of July, just celebrate the summer.
I think I should run that by Danielle first.
I think she'd approve. She wants community input, so that's a good way to do it.
Well, happy National Pina Colada Day, and we will be right back with more Good Morning Vail.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. And again, happy Pina Colada, National Pina Colada Day. Kim and I were able to make up a couple really good concoctions over there to kind of kick off some of the weather that's going to be taking place throughout the week. But let's take a look and see what's happening today. Getting up this morning, 58 degrees at 8 a.m. Going to warm up to a high of 80 degrees, light winds east-southeast, 5 to 15 miles an hour. We're going to see that weather start to warm up. Probably the warmest weather is going to be about between that 2 and 4 o'clock when we're going to see that high of 80 and then 79 degrees around 4. And then things will start going downhill a little bit to give us some of that beautiful, beautiful sleeping weather that we always like to look at. Now today in Denver, they're finally eclipsing that 90-degree mark, so 93 degrees there in Denver. Vail, 80 degrees, Avon, 82 degrees, and Eagle is 85 degrees. So some nice, beautiful type of pina colada weather out there, and I'm sure everybody wants to get out there to the park, enjoy some picnics and things like that. That 47 degrees, which is going to be the low tonight, clear skies, sunsets 8:36 p.m. So a lot of day to do a lot of different things, especially given that full sun that's going to be out there, to make sure that you can take the best day that you can possibly have to start off this weekday. Monday is the way to go. Tuesday, 80 degrees. Wednesday, 83 degrees. Thursday, 84 degrees. Friday, 84 degrees there too. The weekend, sunny, 82 degrees. Look at the lows. Nice 50s all the way through. So get the week planned. It is going to be absolutely incredible. You can't really write a script like this with that beautiful weather that we're seeing here in the Vail Valley. But again, that's the way we love it here in the Vail Valley, because this is that summertime weather. A lot of things to do. Get out there and enjoy. Speaking of things to do, a lot of ways to commute around. You see a lot of cyclists out in some of this beautiful weather. So we're going to take it over to Shift Bikes and see what's happening over there.
Welcome to the TV8 Visitors Bureau. I'm one of your hosts, Maddie Evans. Now we've got a really cool new concept taking place here in the town of Avon, Eaglevale, and Vail. And it's a great way to use as an alternative. Instead of driving your car, you can shift your ride to one of these incredible electric bikes behind me. Now this is a really cool rental system, and you can control it all right from the power of your hands, right from your cell phone, by downloading the Shift Bike app. And then from there, you can get over there and enjoy the incredible amenities that these bikes have to offer. We're going to walk you through it, but in order to do it, you have to download the app. So Shift Bike is the app, and then you can use the coupon code Shift Your Ride for the first 30 minutes free. And we're going to walk you through the pricing and everything here and how you can get one of the bikes. Let's get started. Once you get into the app, you can see exactly which location you would like to pick up the bike, how many bikes are available, and then where you can deliver the bike to. So you can see starting in Avon, making your way through Eaglevale, all the way to Vail Village, and then even down into East Vail. You can collect bikes, drop bikes off, and enjoy your ride on these nice electric bikes. Once you've scanned the QR code to get the bike unlocked, it's really important that you have safety first, so always make sure that you have your helmet with you. That way you can pop that on and you're nice and safe. Now, once you get the bike unlocked, it's super easy. You'll just take that lock right off the back. You'll see that you'll have this big, nice coiled cord, but there's a hook on the back for you to hook that to, so that it is nice and out of your way while you are riding the bike. That way you're nice and safe, and everyone around you is nice and safe, so you don't tip over on the bike. And then once you've got that all secured, you're all set to go. You can just kick that kickstand up and start enjoying your ride. Now remember that these are pedal assist, and there are some rules. To get the bike back to where you got it, or to get it to your next destination, you can always use the app to see all of the great places where you can drop these off. Once you are done on your adventure on the Shift bikes, they're a ton of fun, and you can see that you can get going pretty fast on them, especially with that nice little pedal assist. You'll take the bike back, lock it back up in one of the great charging stations that they have available, and then once you're done locking it up, make sure that you take your app out and you end the ride, because it is going to make sure that that bike is in the correct spot for you to have ended your ride, and that way it will not continue to charge you. That has been this edition of the TV8 Visitors Bureau. We can't wait to bring you more great information, but make sure that you get out there and you use the Shift bike to shift your ride throughout the community.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Now we've had great weather conversation. We've talked about National Pina Colada Day and some live music, but there are some people in the community that love to really dive in and become great endurance athletes. Covered Bridge had a conversation with Corey, so let's have a look at that.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. My name is Kim Fuller. I'm the co-owner of Jaunt Media Collective in West Vail and the editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other co-owner and the director of partnerships at Covered Bridge magazine as well. We have the pleasure of sitting down with Corey Crane, a longtime local and an endurance athlete here in Vail, Colorado. So Corey, welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. It's an honor to be sitting down with you. We've known each other for, gosh, a better part of longer than a decade now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited to talk about the article we have coming up on you, but we're also excited just to get to know you a little bit more. Let the readers and the viewers know a little bit more about Corey Crane, how you made it here, what you've done in the Valley, and kind of your adventure and journey through endurance athletics.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So how long have you lived here in the Valley?
So I moved to Vail, actually. I just picked it on a map in September of 2001. I moved out from Alabama. I just wanted a change of scenery, and here I am 22 years later.
Wow, so picked it on a map. What was that process?
I literally,
like?
I knew I wanted to be in the mountains. I knew I liked Colorado, having, driven out here with family road trips. And I literally just picked Vail on the map. It was a little bit closer to Denver if I needed to fly home to see the fam in Alabama. And here I am 22 years later. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I think it's always fun to hear everyone's story. Myself, like we go through these ups and downs in the Valley of finding our way, right? So what have you done in this Valley as far as employment and then also like adventure? Because I think that's a big part of it.
Sure. Yeah, so when I first moved out here, it was literally the week after 9/11. So there was a huge hiring freeze, pretty much a ghost town. I clearly didn't do my research. You can't get a job really in September. Nobody's hiring, as we all know. So, I just kind of had some fun for a couple months. But then, I did everything from ticket sales to specialty sports back in the day, worked for Vail Mountain. And for the past 18 years, I've been employed by East West Resorts, so, and property management in Beaver Creek.
That is amazing. And, I've met you, gosh, I think through yoga originally.
Yes.
But you're out there all the time on the mountains. I mean, I see you whether it's ski season, bike season, running season.
Right.
Some of your favorite sports are, and then what are you currently working on?
Sure. So going back to when we first met in 2010, I should say. I was a big yogi. I loved it. I still practice. But I love to mountain bike. I love to ski. In fact, this season I had one of my biggest history for working a full-time job. I was pretty psyched on close to 70 days on the mountain. And a lot of that's before the lifts open or after the lifts close, just to fluctuate with my work schedule. And then, I just got into I work out at the gym, that kind of thing, and I just kind of got into running. And for me, it's just a way of releasing energy from the day or, exploring on my own 2 feet. And I love going out with my dog, but a couple of really good friends of mine just kind of got me into bigger distance running. So that's where the past 5 years have really come into play. And when I first discovered ultra distance, which is anything over a marathon distance, 26 miles, I was in my late 30s. So I was kind of late to the game, but I was there for it. I was excited for it. And now that I've approached my mid 40s, I'm all like game on. I'm so freaking pumped. I've just got so much planned this summer. With the final hurrah of being the Leadville 100 in August. So that's what I'm currently training for.
It's so exciting and impressive to be following your journey. And so, we do have an article in the summer-fall issue of Covered Bridge, which is our journey issue featuring Corey and your journey to the race across the sky, the Leadville 100. Yeah. Tell us about the decision to sign up for the Leadville 100, the process of actually getting into the race, and what your training has been looking like.
Sure. So last year I ran the Leadville Marathon, which is held every June. It's pretty tough. 26 miles takes you up to Mosquito Pass, which is above 13,000 feet. So you can only imagine the little oxygen we have as training. But I had an awesome race, and at the awards, you can enter your bib if you'd like into their so-called lottery. And my name was called, and I got the infamous coin to the Leadville 100.
Oh, let's get a close-up on that coin. So this is what's pulled if you get picked, or to put your name in?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you literally, you qualify, and then you can sign up through your bib number. Okay. And I, got the lottery coin. And so you literally, right then and there, you have to make a decision. Are you running it this year? Or are you running it next year? And for me, I was running the Trans-Selkirks last August, which is a 6-day, 120-mile race through the mountains of British Columbia. So I knew I couldn't race in August. So essentially, I've been signed up for almost a year. And what my training looks like is I started with my coach in January. And I like having a coach because it holds me accountable. He gives me my workouts over the weekend, and then I can tune them into how my work schedule looks like, or just life in general, right? But I'm held accountable. I know what I need to do. I might fluctuate Tuesday for Wednesday or vice versa. But I told him, I said, I will do the work. I'm very disciplined. I'm very focused. I want this. And so it's been fun working the past 5 months, and I'm just slowly building mileage. And, this season during the winter, I did a lot of cross training, right? So I didn't want to just run because I knew I would get burned out. So essentially, I've been skiing quite a bit, like I said, before, after hours, ski touring. I fat biked quite a bit on the trails locally. I got into Nordic skiing, and I skated quite a bit, for the endurance, and swimming. So I feel like I've covered all angles, but now that we're getting into drier trails, I'm really starting to amp up the mileage. So this past weekend, I was in Leadville training, because that's the best thing you can do for your lungs and your legs, is get up to 11,000 feet. The weekend before, I went to the Grand Canyon. I ran down to the river and back. So for me, it's all about adventure and just learning to love it. I'm doing this because I truly love it. I'm not, I have to. I want it. Like, I'm focused. So I've really dedicated to it, and a lot of it's part of my new lifestyle, too, these past 2 years.
That's amazing.
I
know Kim has a couple questions, but quickly,
Sure.
you just mentioned something as an athlete that I think some of us, we get sucked into one sport. We train so hard. How important has the cross training been for overall physical, and then also like injury prevention?
Right. Well, that's a good point. So overall cross training, you work all different sets of muscles. So women, as we get older, our fast twitch muscles do start to deteriorate. So for me, it's important to work all aspects of my mental training as well as my, physical physique. So swimming's awesome cardio, endurance, getting up, to ski down, that's phenomenal lung power. So I've really been diving into different to, A, just mentally not get burned out with just running, but B, also to enjoy all the sports that I essentially moved to Colorado for. So
yeah, it's really fun to follow along on your training, and to go along sometimes too when we're lucky enough.
We've had some good weekends training together.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
so Corey, you've been very vocal in the last, I guess it would be about 2 years, about a journey of sobriety, and what led to that choice, and how has that impacted what you're doing now?
Sure. Well, so it was actually 2 years just this past week on May 9th.
That's amazing.
And just how that stemmed, I think, when I moved here in my early 20s, it's go time. It's fun, it's ski town lifestyle, it's party, alcohol's everywhere. It's, socially accepted in our society and our culture here. And when I hit 40, I was at an all-time high, just having the best time of my life, but those highs definitely bring your lows too. So we, being my husband and I, went to Mexico 2 years ago to visit some friends that lived down there. And, I definitely kept it chill that week. I just wasn't into it like normal beach trips usually are. And I remember it was Mother's Day. It was May 9th. And we went to the airport. And I said, oh, should I spend these last pesos and get another Corona? And I thought to myself, I don't need it. I don't need this. So I got home the next day, and I was really focused on getting back to work, your routine, you're not at the beach anymore. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to drink this week. I just want to be healthy, right? Well, my last sip of alcohol was May 8th, 2021. So somehow I quit cold turkey. It was absolutely mind-blowing, especially those that know my past. But I've got nothing but awesome things to say about sobriety, and for me it's been a life-changing decision, the best adult decision I've ever made. I'm still having a great time. I'm still hanging out with my friends, I'm now DD, and it's just really been inspiring and empowering for especially my lifestyle of, my crazy work schedule, and then adding on top of it my training, and just knowing that I'm walking every day with a clear lens, and I feel good. And if I don't sleep well, then it's something perhaps I ate that day, but there's never this blame of, perhaps a drink the night before. So I really do feel that the non-alcoholic movement is definitely taking a trend in our society, and I'm super proud and honored to be a part of it. And I do encourage those that might have a little issue or some sober curious just to look into it. Just a 30-day detox, 42-day detox. There's so much more to it. I mean, there's your physical, there's your mental, there's your spiritual. I mean, my finances, your skin, your sleep. I mean, nobody said, gosh, my habitual drinking habits have really, empowered my life, right? So I feel that if there is a little bit of an issue, in the gray area drinking, look into it. And, I'm happy to reach, speak with you or whatnot. There's awesome programs in town. I know there's, wonderful podcasts to listen to, and just a little bit of encouragement. If you go to reach for that beer, just give it 15 minutes. Give it 15 minutes. Instead, lace up your shoes, go for a walk, and just think, okay, am I going to regret this, or am I going to feel better about my decision?
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's just been
really helpful.
Yeah,
I think
thank
for
you.
a lot of people.
Yeah, and for me, I know that I'm on the right path, and I'm super excited about it. You can probably just tell. Like, I just want to shout it from the mountaintops. My life has just improved, and I'm very grateful for it. So,
super inspiring on so many levels, Corey.
Thanks.
Yeah. In the closing of the article on Corey is a quote from her that I'd love to read here. And I think it really relates to everything we've been chatting about today. Anyone who's willing to step out of their comfort zone, that's where growth really happens. I want to encourage people to live an awesome, healthy life and enjoy the beautiful mountains we live in. And if you're struggling, reach out to a friend. There's always hope around the next corner. And we really hope that on your journey of training this summer and the actual race, 100 miles, so the Leadville 100 in August, that those times it does get challenging, you know that hope is around that next corner for you.
Yeah, and just know that growth comes from possibility, it comes from opportunity, but you have to want it, and it takes a lot of discipline. I know I committed to this, and so I wake up every day with gratitude, with discipline, and just excitement, and yes, there's obviously some lows, but the highs definitely outnumber the lows, and I'm just eager for my summer of racing and my friendships, and I've got some fun concerts on the books, so life doesn't slow down just because alcohol's not involved. I've got to remind listeners about that. It definitely is an eye-opening experience, and but thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for everything you do in this community.
Well, thank you.
We'll be following your bib number.
Yes.
We might even be out there. We've got a couple friends that are running, so it's really fun to go out and support. So Yeah, great luck with training this summer, Corey. Thank you for joining us and for participating in the article as well. Corey Crane here, and we will all be watching her in anticipation of an amazing race, Leadville 100 this August. Thank you all for watching Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time.
Have a good day.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. If you've been watching all morning, I have been going off on the local weather. It is going to be absolutely incredible. We've had some great weather over the last few days, but it is not going to disappoint because it's going to continue getting better and better. Getting up this morning, 8 a.m., 58 degrees, high today of 80 degrees. So another beautiful day. If you look at the weather by the hour, you kind of see it just gradually heating up, probably hitting that 80-degree mark around 2 p.m., and then starting to cool back down a little bit. Looking at the I-70 corridor, Denver's finally seeing their 90s, 93 degrees there in Denver. Vail, 80 degrees, 82 degrees in Avon, and 85 degrees in Eagle with that mostly sunshine weather that's out there. Now tonight, coming in a low of 47 degrees, things are going to cool off nice and easy for us tonight. If you're into stargazing, it should be a nice clear night for you, and that sun is going to set around 8:36 p.m. Now looking at this weather for the rest of the week, I really don't need to say much here because it is going to be fantastic. We're going to have sunny 80s all week long. So get your week planned, get your weekend planned, because Saturday is going to kick it off with 82 degrees, sunny. I'm excited.
Well, I would be excited too. What a beautiful weather we have coming up this whole week. And I know you mentioned Saturday, it's Monday, but I tell you, after that pina colada this morning, I am ready for the weekend.
Ready for the weekend, put on the flip-flops, get the umbrella in the sand, and just call it a week. Just take the week off, everybody.
I think that's not a bad idea. And I loved your idea of bringing sand into the studio and just, having a nice beach week here.
Well, we're here with Danielle talking about the evolution, some of the enhancements. I think sand would be a good one.
I think a beach theme would be a great theme,
We've got the lights in here.
Yeah.
Not much better than that.
Absolutely. Well, we had an awesome, I loved that you got to speak with Vail Jazz. And, and if we got a little bit of a music serenade.
Yeah, Drew Zambera, he is an amazing saxophone artist, but that jazz festival, the Vail Jazz Festival, should be amazing. Don't forget, there's some free shows coming up on Sunday. They started yesterday, 5 to 7 p.m. in the Solaris Plaza. So 5 to 7 p.m. Get there before it stops because I know sometimes change. And then Lions Head over in the tent. You can get tickets for there. They've dropped those tickets to $35.
That's amazing. Well, Kevin, love having you here on the couch with me. So thanks for joining.
We'll be back tomorrow.